So
Yeah.
the Cowboys, right? Who do they pay? Because Malik Hooker, the safety, comes out and is like, "Oh, Micah's third in line, CeeDee's number one. I guess Dak would be there, the middle guy." I'm not a Dak guy. I think Micah needs to show that he can play big in big games. Right down the stretch of seasons in the playoffs, he hasn't been there. I would put CD as priority number one. I guess I would put Dak at two, Mike at three. Although that's a toss up. I think Malik Hooker is on the right page there, on the right track. Who would you pay first? What do you do if you're Dallas? Those are three guys you're going to have to pay a ton of money to if you want to keep all three. What do you do in Dallas?
If it's me, who I'm paying first is it's actually Micah, hands down.
Okay,
Hands down. It is Micah Parsons. Pay that man, please. I feel confident in the market Micah Parsons would be successful playing either edge, inside linebacker, or safety. I think he could be a successful NFL player anywhere.
interesting,
When
interesting.
you Yeah, he's just so athletic. Coming into the draft, he came out as he was a hybrid of all three, like an Isaiah Simmons type. But when you talk about the amount of impact that individual players have on their entire defense, he's got to be up there like in the top three in the NFL. Like if he's off the field, the defense just like goes kaput. Like no, that's not so I don't have a whole lot to say about Micah Parsons because paying him or not paying him shouldn't even be up for debate, in my opinion. He's
Sure.
one of the best defensive players in the league. Nick Bosa gets paid $34 million per year. That's the highest in the league for a defender. I'd pay Micah Parsons up to a max of $40 million a year.
Oh,
That's what I
oh.
would say.
Jerry
I
would
think
love to do
he's
it. Jerry loves to pay his guys. I don't think you're crazy there.
so that's how I feel about Micah. As far as CD, I think CD should be number two.
Okay.
So CD is a great wide receiver, and I think for him personally, he's playing out this contract situation by waiting for Justin Jefferson to sign his deal, which he already did. I think he played that perfectly because then he could just
Sure.
ask for more money. Like good job by him, I guess. But
I think he's
but
he's
now
right in line
like
with Justin Jefferson.
he is. He is. But now people are like now more than ever, you guys are seeing this that people are comparing CeeDee Lamb to Justin Jefferson. And I can't stand for it, man. It's crazy. Yeah, they're both 2020 second round or first round picks. If you look at each of their career stats, they're fairly similar. They're both clamoring for these big contracts. But I'm here to tell those people who are making that comparison to please stop it. Like most people don't realize it, but CeeDee Lamb plays over half of his snaps out of the slot. CeeDee
Yeah.
Lamb played a higher percentage of snaps out of the slot last year than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown,
He's
in
a
my
slot
eyes, is
receiver,
strictly a
isn't he?
slot receiver.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, he is. And CeeDee Lamb played a higher percentage out of the slot than he did. And Justin Jefferson plays most of his snaps lined up outside. Now, people are probably going to say, okay, Keane, but who cares? CD is still succeeding in the NFL. And you're right. But the best cornerbacks in the league play outside. Justin Jefferson is winning against those corners. And while CD is in the slot half the time, avoiding those cornerbacks, unless they're specifically assigned to follow CD everywhere. But there were some games last year, multiple games last year, where CD had at least 60% of his snaps out of the slot versus the Jets. So he was avoiding Sauce.
Of
Versus
course.
the 49ers, he was avoiding Charvarius Ward. Versus the Packers, he was avoiding Jair Alexander. Against the Eagles, avoiding Darius Slay. Against the Bills, avoiding Rasul Douglas or Christian Benford. Both those guys had good years last year. But it's been historically proven that it's easier to get open from the slot. It's why the
Absolutely.
shorter, slower wide receivers are put in the slot and can still succeed. So I'm not saying that CeeDee Lamb is a bad wide receiver. I think he's great. But when you're asking to be paid at least $35 million a year, like Justin Jefferson, I don't want to pay you that because sometimes we have to move you away from the best corners in the league for you to succeed. And
Yeah.
that like makes me kind of it makes me kind of cringe a little bit because I want if I'm paying you that much money, I want you to succeed all the time
Oh, you better be
against
winning
I don't
against
care who you're
everybody.
playing against. Exactly.
Yeah.
And as far as for Dak, that leaves him kind of off the list third. I'm not gonna I don't want to pay Dak. So like although I will say that outside of 3 games last year where Dak completely shit the bed, it was against the
It was bad.
Cardinals, the 49ers, and the Bills. I think Dak should have won MVP. You take out those 3 games, obviously you can't take
Sure.
out games, but still, he was great, I think. And people are going to say like, well, Dak had receivers last season. We'll see what he does this year with just CD. The only person he lost from last season to this season was Michael Gallup, and he only put up 418 receiving yards. So I think he'll be fine. But overall, Dak was great last season. I won't take that away from him. But the thing that I've noticed with Dak, and everybody sees it, is that whenever he plays bad, the whole team plays bad. Even the
Right.
defense. I don't understand what happens. I don't know if it's some chicken or the egg thing, but now not like every player has a bad game now and then. But whenever Dak has these bad games, they're absolutely catastrophic, and they seem to happen on big important stages. Like it's happened for multiple years.
Oh yeah. Every
And these
playoff game.
Cowboys, Exactly. Yeah, the Cowboys are a restless, championship-hungry franchise that wants to win, and Jerry Jones reflects that. Well, not really with the moves that he made, but he always says like,
Oh yeah,
"Yeah, we're all in." But the fans also reflect that. They're some of the most like angry fans in the NFL, and we've watched the same Cowboys merry-go-round for 3 straight years now. They keep going 12-5. Like the last 3 seasons, they've been 12-5, and then they just shit the bed in the playoffs. But
of course.
Cowboys are finally realizing that Dak is just like Kirk Cousins. He's an above average NFL quarterback, but you need to build up a good team around him to help him.
Thank you.
And you can't do that. You can't do that if you're paying him 60, $55 million a year.
Thank
That's
you.
just the fact of the matter.
I've been a huge
Yeah.
Kirk guy. Okay,